Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I'm here checking out Devious Dungeon 2. Yeah, I know, it's another Ratalaika port, and it's another one that's actually being sold on PlayAsia right now, so if you like the look of this game from the look of it, for whatever reason, there is a link in the description you can use to support me, but... well, let me put it this way, if you like my opinions on video games, you are not going to like this one, so... yes, just FYI, I'm still kind of recovering from this bloody cold that I've got, although I think it's developed into something worse. So, if you notice that I do a sudden jump cut, or my audio goes quiet for a few seconds, that'll be why. It depends on how I feel when I'm editing this video, so... let's just go hop in. That settings menu is nothing but the sound effects and music volume. So, I've been playing this for about an hour at this point, but I don't think it really matters. I really don't think so. Because it honestly feels like I played a little bit of the second world, and it feels almost identical to the first world. So frankly, I could have showed you the first stage of the game, and I don't think it would have mattered. One of the main things they added over the first game is... excuse me. 3 different classes, but the only difference between them is their maneuverability. The mage can hover, the rogue can double jump, the warrior can't do either, but he gets a 20% damage decrease. So he's a better tank. And also their starting stats are slightly different. So the mage and the rogue don't do the mage and the rogue do more damage than the warrior, but yeah, you can level up and improve them over time. So when we resume the game, it'll put us in the hub, where there's only one thing that you can really do. I mean, you can see these guys over here and you can listen to them, but the only real thing you can do here is go and buy stuff from the shop. And equipment in this is unlocked linearly, so you have the Apprentice Wand, which you start with, but then you upgrade to the Wand of Frost, which will let you freeze the enemy, and then you equip that. But if you want to... but then that unlocks the Flame Wand, which you then buy, and then that'll unlock the Blade of Light, then that'll unlock the Arcane Wand, yada 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 yada. Some of them have different effects, some of them have different stats, it just depends, really. You've also got armor. You also have potions. And you also have trinkets, which all work in pretty much exactly the same way. You have to buy them linearly, except in the case of things like trinkets, I don't want critical power, I just want damage and hit points. So having to buy that in order to unlock the Mystic Ring for purchase is a real kick in the teeth. And that's pretty much it. You just go hop in. You pick where you want to start. And you have to get through, like, 12 levels and then a boss fight, but thankfully they let you take a little break after every 3 levels or so. I will give them credit for one thing at least. At least they actually let you change the look of your dude a little bit. Not many RPGs let you do that. I mean, this isn't really an RPG, but I'm just saying that in general. Not many RPGs actually change the look. But yeah, this is Devious Dungeon. It's pretty much exactly what it looks like. It's an incredibly simple, 2-dimensional platformer with RPG elements. You wander on through, you jump with the X button, you fire with the square or the circle button, depending on what you prefer. That's my phone going off, because of course it is. And once you get to the main goal of each level is to find the key. Once you've found the key, you can find your way to the portal, exit the level. There are items all over the place that you may destroy. These items contain coins. There are also hidden chests, which contain treasure. There is also just treasure lying out in the secret rooms. And there are also experience tomes, which are usually secrets, but not always. which will buff up your experience bar a little. When you level up, you have the choice of increasing your health, your damage, or your critical chance. I have just been doing nothing but damage, because I don't really see much point in doing anything else. You get a decent amount of hit points from most equipment. You don't actually find any equipment, it's mainly just money, so there's no reason not to just get as much... That was weird. There's no reason not to get as much equipment as money as humanly possible, because it is the only real way to majorly gain strength. I mean, you can... I mean, you do level up, and you do get points because of that in your strength, your hit points, and your crit chance. But it's thoroughly ineffective for the most part. You want to basically be buying as much equipment as possible, because that's the only way you'll notice a real difference. I've been pumping every point I get into strength, and it hasn't really been making much of a difference at all. Enemies still take roughly the same amount of damage to take down, and the only reason why it appears to be happening even remotely fast is because I'm using a piece of equipment that fires off 2 shots instead of 1. This doubles my damage output. Hooray. The game itself is very bare bones and very simple. I have explained pretty much every mechanic there is to you. The game's trophies do not seem to hint at any extra mechanics coming in, outside of maybe, like, a boss or 2, but there's nothing in the way of, like, special modes or anything as far as I can tell. It's not permadeath. I mean, you keep everything when you die. The levels are procedurally generated, but honestly they aren't very interesting. It's the same sort of basic layout again and again and again. There's nothing really to it, in all honesty. It's just very, very uninspired and generally not that enjoyable level design. Like, it's not bad, honestly. Like, it is generally not horrible, but you'll just often find that it's pretty boring. There are also some downsides to the way the levels are designed. Like, for example, there are permanent spikes on the floor, and if the money just happens to randomly shoot off in a direction that ends with it being on a permanent spike pit, you're not getting that money without taking damage. That doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's quite annoying, especially when you beat, like, a mini-boss. And when you beat that mini-boss, you end up... When you beat that mini-boss, you end up getting a ton of coins from it, but that ton of coins can proceed to fall off the edge of the pit that you can't go down without at least taking some damage. And that's inherently frustrating. It's all very similar to the original Devious dungeon, which admittedly I didn't even remember that fondly, or at all really, until I actually picked this game up, because this game is so similar to it. Like, I find myself... I find myself thinking, am I just playing the same game again? I can tell you one thing, I am absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, feeling like I'm playing the same game again. I feel like I'm going through the same level every bloody time. I feel like I'm attacking the same enemies every time. It's not like there isn't a bunch of different kinds of monsters. It just seems like the best way to take them out is just to wait for them to do their attack, then go in and fire at them. And most of them have similar sort of attack patterns. So, where's the portal? It's probably back towards the mill somewhere. So yeah, it's just... It's absolutely not doing anything for me, if you couldn't tell. There are a couple of other things I should mention. You can check your stats here. You can see a list of the mini-bosses. You can check all the unique treasure that you found. You can see your quests, which are basically just free money, but frankly, as long as you're killing everything and destroying everything you're seeing, you will get every quest every time. And there's your music and sound sliders. Thankfully, coins don't disappear, so you can take your time in getting to them, which is nice. But again, this also means that they tend to fall off endless pits and just become annoying to collect. This has got to be a secret. Yep, the secrets in this game are incredibly predictable. I will give them credit for one thing. It's a nice little feature to be able to hold square, and then you're basically locked into a sort of strafing mode where you can move back and forth pretty easily without having to deal with like the same sort of without having to deal with the annoying bullshit of having to run away and then turn around and start firing again in order to actually hit someone. That's nice. I will not deny the niceness of this. I could leave right now. What level am I on? Is this 6-3? I don't really have a way to tell, do I? Yeah, screw it. Let's just leave. Yep, so I'm back at the caravan again, and now I can buy some stuff. What do I want? Well, poison damage, which does 60 damage over time. But I lose my double shot. Also some speed and some range. My armor just gives me a straight hit point increase, so let's do that. And if I save up just a little more money, I could get the next set of armor. Or I could just buy a potion of health. And have to deal with, yep, a potion of critical. Or a potion of finesse, but same fucking thing, really. What about trinkets? Yeah, I'll buy some more hit points for that. Damn, that would have actually been really nice, but I'm 50 short. Priest healing not needed, yeah, because since I swapped out armor, it changed my health maximum. Yeah, the healing potion costs 50 gold, which is basically nothing. Like, even early on in the game, 50 gold is basically nothing. If you don't have 50 gold to spare, chances are you've been really anal retentive, or you're just really focused on getting as much gear as possible for some reason, and I can't imagine why. Because, yeah. The hitboxes kind of suck. They can absolutely hit you just a little bit above or a little bit below. This is a thing. It's shit. And the game's overall technical performance is also shit. Like, even so much as a couple of coins on screen can cause the frame rate to tank. It's unbelievable. Hell, I've even had the game slow down performance-wise when I get like a quest prompt with nothing else on screen. It is legitimately really bad. Like, this is the same platform that can run games like Muramasa the Demon Blade without breaking a sweat. Somehow having trouble running Devious Dungeon 2. It's incredible just how bad it runs, honestly. Yeah, might as well leave. Especially at this graphical fidelity. Like, if this game looked on the same level as Muramasa, well, it's Muramasa Rebirth. I keep calling it the Demon Blade because that was the original name for it, but Yeah, if this game looked even remotely close to Mirror Master Rebirth, I might have been open to forgiving it, but look at it. Look at it. You could run this game on an Android phone from 10 years ago and have better performance than this. In fact, I'm like 90% sure this is an Android port. In fact, I'm pretty sure they just released a Devious Dungeon 3 on Android. The developer Wobblyware actually made some Flash games back in the day, and I've been working on backing up parts of their library. Not like their library specifically, but you know, you just come across it as you go. And honestly, all the games that they've made would be fine as just like free-to-play games, but when you're paying money for it, especially when you have to pay like $40 for a physical copy, it's also going to be like one of the last Vita physical titles. Just how about no? A no with a giant serving of, and screw you for trying to sell me this for $40 fucking on a cartridge. There are so many better games that could have gone on cartridge. I mean, I could have gotten a physical copy of this just by snapping my fingers, but damn, I was actually really close to getting all my health back. So yeah, you get a little bit of bonus money when you die, depending on how well you did on that run. And then lets you go back to the shop and buy more stuff. I don't even know why I'm bothering. I don't plan on playing this again. Just put it down. I don't care. That was a look at Devious Dungeon 2. It's nothing special, even remotely. The gameplay is boring, the level designs are boring, the enemies are so similar that they might as well be the same enemy over and over again. The equipment system is bullshit. You should be able to... It'd be better if you could find equipment in the game itself, just because it would make things at least a little bit more interesting, so when you find a good piece of equipment, you could at least say you're enjoying yourself. The performance is absolutely terrible, and there's just nothing redeeming here whatsoever. If you want this concept done way better, go play Rogue Legacy. A game that's been out for years, and honestly, that probably should have gone to physical release too. Like, did they get a physical release? It might have gone to limited run games release or something like that, but I don't bloody remember. Yeah, not worth your time. Not worth the digital, not worth the physical, but... You know, if you do absolutely want the physical because you're a Vita collector like that, there's a link in the description if you want to support me and my efforts. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.